Yo, and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. You know, some of my favorite videos to watch are when collectors show off how they store, how they display, how they, arrange their collection in whatever space that they are lucky enough to have allocated to their hobby. And today I'm gonna do a hobby tour, a room tour, because I've been able to add some pieces, been working on some stuff for a while with my son and my dad, and with my daughter's help, actually rearranging the room in a way that makes sense for the amount of space that I have to try to arrange things that allows still for some continued growth of the collection. And yeah, I'm gonna show that off. The funny thing is, my very first video that I did and I posted 10 and a half years ago was a card room tour. And oh my, how things have changed. It was just funny to go back and watch that video and just like, man, who knew what the next decade would look like for my collection and my hobby, and how many people would come along on the journey with me and all of that good stuff. So let's get right to it. I'll kind of go through some things as I show you how I've redone the card room. And yeah, let's have some fun. All right, so we're gonna walk in here into the card room now, and lots of it's the same. So I'm gonna do a quick pan around the room, start in this corner, and then I'll talk specifically about some things. And just go around. Kind of top to bottom a little bit, and then I'll start talking kind of why things are where different things are. All right, so let's start over here. Still got a remnants to my Josh Hamilton Super Collection, an old All-Star jersey that's signed. And I've got a Cooperstown, that is a Dick Perez print that I bought. I'm a huge Hall of Fame guy, so I just love everything associated with the Hall of Fame. You've got a little Jim Sundberg rookie card, kind of like it's a 3D type looking thing. It's wooden and signed by Jim Sundberg. Jim Sundberg was one of my favorite players as a kid. Got an old lineup card, Rangers Orioles, signed by Buck Showalter, back before the Rangers got good. And then a few other just little pictures and stuff over here on this little wall. Up here, you've got little Topps baseball. And then along the top here, I've got comics from all the Marvel titles from October 1973. And that's the year and month I was born. So I just bought them and framed them, thought they were really cool. There you've got the introduction of the Hall of Fame, the first couple of classes when they did the opening of the actual museum. Then I've got a bunch of bobbleheads of Hall of Famers, both here and on the other side of the window. I finally got that shelf to stand up. It had been giving me fits for a while, but I finally got that figured out. Got this great Teddy Ballgame print from, I bought this a couple years ago at the National, signed by Ted Williams, numbered to 5,000, Ted standing against the Green Monster. Got this other Dick Perez print, the first 5 Baseball Hall of Fame inductees, Cobb, Mathewson, Ruth, Wagner, and Johnson. Got this great piece that I got at an auction house. It's a, from the Cracker Jack Old Timers Baseball Classic, whenever that was. And it's signed by Hank Aaron, Brooks Robinson, and Warren Spahn, which are the guys pictured on the painting. Obviously you can tell I love sports art. I've got this great print, Greatest All-Stars. This is by a guy named Jamie Cooper is the artist. And this is a signed print from him, and it just shows at old Comiskey Park, a bunch of great players all sitting around talking, imagining what it would be like. And you've got Pete Rose up here, not invited. He's the janitor. Kind of an interesting, very cool picture. A Nolan Ryan print here that is, I think this was a stadium giveaway maybe, or something, I don't know exactly, but around the edge is all of his Topps cards from 1968 through 1993. This is my wall of Scott Reindeer Studios. You've got the 33 Gaudy Lou Gehrig chalk drawing that he did for me, the Hank Aaron painting that I just got, and then a Roy Hobbs. I love the natural, love all baseball movies, but I love that. And I've got a few comic homages here. These are mainly from the three on the left are from Pop Fly Pop Shop, and love those. I've bought a few of them. Bought the Gehrig, bought the Nolan Ryan autographed version that he has, and then of course the Flying Dutchman Honus Wagner. And then this was something done by one of my friends making me look like Gambit, the amazing baseball collector. Kind of great. Then we have the Berg display case. This is kind of the first big thing in the room. As soon as you walk in, it lights up. It's something that there's several videos on my channel where I talk about my dad and I refurbishing this and turning it into a card case instead of used a lot of times at different places to hold trinkets, antique stores, all that kind of stuff. But right now, what's in there is all Hall of Fame 5-star autographs. So it just ordered by year is how I have it right now. Over here is a little shelf that has a little bit of unopened wax. I don't have a ton of unopened wax, honestly, but a little bit. And a bunch of sets that I'm starting to build. This is really an inspiration for me as I go forward, maybe doing binders for sets. I see so many guys that do that, Pepino Man, Geez Mikey. I love the way they do that. And so I'm trying to get motivated to do that as well. This is a start, and maybe someday I'll be able to do that. Then we come to, you know, the first of the new cases that my dad, son, and I have been working on. These hold comic books. They are built and inspired to look like the Beast. So you've got simply drawers that pull out, and inside are comic books. We made these really big. Each drawer is dovetailed. This is Baltic birch here. You've got walnut on the front. Everything else, the cabinet itself is all walnut. And it's just the kind of my favorite wood, and so that's what I use for all of these. These are really heavy, but there's handles on the back, and it's really well done. Good job by my dad and my son. I've got some more Rangers bobbleheads up here. Yeah, dovetailed top. Then we've got, this is actually the first piece my dad and I ever built, was this glass case, kind of a tabletop case, that inside it right now I've got the Baseball Hall of Fame Heroes set that I have all autographed. So those are what's displayed in there now. Great piece done for me by JT. Triple Crown 24, Feed the Beast. He made the amazing baseball collector to look like a comic book. Again, it combines both my hobbies. Then of course you've got the Beast. It looks really good moved to the center of this window, and it's really now the focal piece of the room. I mean, you walk in, you see it, and all the other storage cases that we've built are all just right there, bam, and everything's the same. Got some books, some other little trinkets, a mantle photo that I've had to move around. I've had to move some of the pictures around and stuff. Again, just a drawer that comes out. It's just full of amazing Spider-Mans. Is primary what I collect. I collect some Star Wars comics as well, but those are down at the bottom, down in the bottom rows, but mainly Spider-Man. And what's great is I got plenty of open space, so these won't be filling up anytime soon. Another group of bobbleheads. A great Nolan Ryan signed commemorative piece for his being a record breaker, strikeout king. Up here is a custom piece I got signed by Ivan Rodriguez, one of my favorite Rangers of all time, commemorating his MVP year in 1999. I've got a couple of jerseys. The one on the left is one I wore to a Rangers event that they made for us, and I just thought it was awesome. And then Tony Beasley, Rangers third base coach, he actually pitched to Adolis Garcia in the All-Star Game home run derby. So I will show inside the closet here in a minute. I mean, stuff's everywhere, so I've got boxes on the ground, just stuff kind of scattered. This wall right here is kind of my dedication to sports art a little bit. You've got a couple of great paintings, prints, I guess. 3000 Hit Club, done by Ron Lewis, signed by Ron Lewis, and lots of players pictured and some players not even pictured, like Ripken's on there, Boggs' signatures on there, and they're not pictured in the painting yet because they hadn't reached 3,000 hits when this was done. And this is a very famous art piece, the 500 Home Run Club, just all-time greats on that. This is the artist proof version, Ron Lewis, numbered to 1,000. Around, just kind of framing all these are called Perez Steel Great Moments. And they're, I guess, not quite 8x10, maybe close to 8x10. And I've just got different players showing along the side. Ben Yastrzemski, Ray Dandridge. Over on the other side, you've got Gehringer, Stargell, Reese, Marichal, Bill Dickey. Yeah, this is kind of my setup for, I got my camera ring light for when I do live streams, you know, doing the podcast, stuff like that. Everybody knows that background with all my books. There's Julie on our wedding day. I keep that here, and my kids right behind it. Then I got my desk that's just glass top desk. The cards have moved around a lot since I first did it. They've all kind of accumulated here in the front, but I just threw a ton of just random cards down, some old tickets that I had dupes of and stuff like that on the desk. Just, it's a great work surface, plenty of room to put drawers down and look through cards and all that. Up here, got a couple of game used bats. Actually, that's a Pudge Gamer that I got signed. I love it. And then this Michael Young game used bat was a gift from my buddy Mike at Canadian Cards. So got some stuff commemorating the World Series back in 2010 with the Rangers when they lost to the Giants. Speaking of Giants, we got a Willie Mays, the catch photo. This 300 victory lithograph was moved from the other side of the room. It's one of those great pieces done. This is a Ron Lewis piece as well. 300 wins. I've got my Nolan Ryan lithograph here, signed by Nolan Ryan. And we've got Ted Williams, another gift from a person who watched the show, my Lou Gehrig little plate. I finally found a place for that. And I've got my Nolan Ryan beating the crap out of Robin Ventura with Pudge. I got those signatures myself. And then Hank Aaron, just photo of him breaking Babe Ruth's record for career home runs. So yeah, that's kind of here. Again, this room is really small. I mean, it's like 10 by 12. So trying to get as much stuff as I want in here. Let's go into the closet. Down here, I've got from Nationals and Dallas card shows and any show that I go to, I keep my badges just so I can remember when I went and all of that. Inside the closet here, it does not open the whole way, but I can show you inside. It's literally ceiling to floor cards. I've got a shelving system in here. I've got a bunch of other jerseys that I wear occasionally. Binders, signed baseballs, random everything is in here. This is kind of a catch-all for stuff. There's a Ted Williams signed ball. That was a gift from Dave Blue Jacket 66. Pedro, Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, George Brett. I mean, and then I have every top set in boxes from 1973 all the way over on the left down to 2022 is, I ran out of room, so it's up there, is 2022. So ultimately, again, some of these will end up going into binders. I would love to have a binder wall someday once I have more room, which would include the Topps base sets and all the traded sets. So I've got all the old 80s traded sets here. Just a bunch of random cards everywhere. I've got Donruss Fleer score sets from the 80s growing up, Upper Deck, all that kind of stuff as well. Down here is just kind of my bulk stuff. It's lots of my Josh Hamilton, Pudge collections, cards from when I was a kid, you name it, it's all down here. I've got every box is labeled on the top, so I kind of know what's in there. But yeah, that's the closet. I'll close this up and kind of finish up with this. I did do some video of my dad and I working and my son working on these cases, so I'm gonna put that at the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Let me know what you think down below. We'll talk to you soon. Keep collecting. Great. So what we're doing right now is the two Palmers are taking Baltic birch 4x8 sheets. And what we're doing is we're ripping them down into the sides of the drawers for the comic cabinet. So we're cutting them a little fat. This is definitely a two-person job. So they're gonna take that back. I'm gonna grab this piece. So this is gonna be drawer, drawer, drawer. And we got them working here, so we'll start stop setting these. What do you think, Palmer? Palmer and Palmer. This is, I'll walk this way. We'll go this way. We're in the backyard at my dad's shop. There's my dad's shop. So he's got just workstations everywhere because inside, so we're really kind of at the very beginning of this. So these are the walnut panels that are going to end up being the sides and the drawer fronts, and the top of this are all here. This is going to be oak. This is red oak. And these are going to be the backs of the drawers. So these drawers are going to be hefty. And so imagine there's an old prototype drawer from the Beast. So this is a Beast drawer. So imagine the same idea. It's going to be Baltic birch sides. They're actually not going to be anything in the middle because these are going to be a single slot. So if I pull this out, because what we're going to do is have comics in them, and comics are in, they're called bagged and boarded. It's just a piece of cardboard. So if that actually fit, it'd be great. But imagine these, one drawer is going to hold a comic. So the actual drawer will be slightly larger, width-wise. Same idea. We're going to have label things on the front, handles, and yeah. And then they'll be taller. They'll be this tall. So each of those will be a drawer for comics. And actually a little bit deeper, a little bit longer. But that's the basic idea that we're taking and turning it into comic books. So, yeah. It's my dad's shop. I love the sign. The best thing I make with these tools, with all these tools, is friends. That's how I feel about the card community. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just slowly working, getting pieces done, getting things kind of parts of parts. You got to make all the parts first. It all sounds silly, but if you don't have everything glued up and ready, but this is going to be, this walnut is going to be absolutely gorgeous when we're done with it. It looks kind of dusty and rough now, but man, it sure cleans up good. All right, catch you guys later. Hey, Dad.
Hey, how are ya?
Good. So what are we doing right now, and why can this be very dangerous, what we're doing right now?
Why we're trying to saw size all of the sides of the drawers.
These are the
and
sides,
the bottoms. Yep. These are the sides, the bottoms will be next. And we're just cutting down those large sheets of plywood into something that's more manageable, where we can accurately size them. Then this is kind of the first cutting of the drawer sides.
So it's kind of a rough cut, but we're cross-cutting the wood, which is always dangerous on a table saw.
It's the only way I've got to cut that kind of width. My chop saw won't cut across that 12 and a half, 13 inches. So we're using a sled and the miter gauge slot, and this big sled gets a great degree of accuracy. I'll show you how.
So we're cutting 4 at a time, so 2 inches worth of material. There you go.
And Bob is your uncle.
That's Bob's your uncle. That's an old Moynihan saying. So yeah, now we got, these are gonna be drawer sides, more or less. This will be the side of a drawer to hold comics. So yeah, we'll keep going. Thanks, Dad. You're a good teacher. No comment? He's focused. He's trying to get them all lined up. But you're doing great, Dad. Thank you. I'm glad I can help.
You are a good helper.
All right, we are still working right now. We have a lot of parts. These are going to be all the sides of the boxes. We've got all the bottoms up here. These are of the drawers for the comic box that we're making. I haven't thought of a name. I think I'm going to call it the Hulk, named after the Hulk. Somebody came up with that. So what we're doing here is cutting a side with the CNC, and so each side is going to have a handle that I can grab onto, a dado cut in the bottom where the bottom's going to go in, and yeah, it's going to be pretty slick. So I'll hit start and you'll see every piece I put up here, it vacuums it down.
Put the vacuum on the table.
Turn on the
That's the hold down clamp.
Let me make sure. Yeah. So start job. We've already programmed these cuts into the CNC. We have it also. We're going to use the CNC as much as we can because it's so efficient and it's so accurate.
Hold that still so we can show the viewers how it's cut. Let's cut that hole out 1/8 of an inch at a time. This is the last flap. It makes 4 laps to get through the half-inch material. Now it's coming down for the dado. That'll hold the bottom of the box in really strong.
All right, so today is a day of tedium, and that's part of it in any project like this, is you're gonna have things that you need to do that are vital, that just take a long time, and that's today, and that's the sanding of these drawers. So let me show you what we're doing. Palmer, it's me and little Palmer today working, and I will flip this around and show you. All right, so here's a drawer, there's Palmer, sanding like crazy. He's doing 100 grit and I'm doing 220. So he's giving it a rough sanding, rougher sanding, and then I'm coming through and making it. This is the front of one of the drawers, and it is smooth. and it is awesome. We have to mark which drawer, like that means top, middle, one, so that'll be the second drawer. Like there's gonna be columns, and anyway, we have to keep them all in order. There's a method to the madness, but here's one of the drawers. Look at how great Palmer cut all of these dovetails, this Palmer, and he did an amazing job on these. You can see just how gorgeous, and this is pre-polyurethane, so what we'll do is put multiple coats of polyurethane on all these drawers. There are 16 of them total. You can see them all here. These are all finished, going to be wiped down and then poly put on them, and they are going to look absolutely stunning. These are 4 finished drawers here in terms of all the sanding and done. So just a little more tedium, right, Palmer? And he's tired, but he's doing great, and yeah, we'll catch up with you guys later. All right, more tedium is happening. We are now putting on the first coat of polyurethane, which is gonna make this, I'll show you, like here's the wood before, and I'll put on, this is just, again, just the first coat, just a glossy wipe on polyurethane, gloved up. So I'm just gonna wipe it on. I'm going with the grain. And that's how it looks. So we're doing that on 16, all 16 drawers. Palmer's finishing up. We're trying to get finished today and get that first coat on and be done for the day.